Hey family, Marshauno here, your favorite life and relationship strategist. And I help women that are married on long-term relationships to stop feeling disconnected and unloved and shift you to feeling heard, understood, and appreciated. Now here's the thing. Do you have questions about your marriage? Do you have questions about your relationship? And there is just times where you just cannot find anybody to talk to you and you just want some answers. Well, guess what? I created a free relationship resource library just for you, just for occasions like this. Now, I'm going to put it down, the link down in the description box below, but here it is right here. It's bit.ly/relationship library. That's bit.ly/relationship library. Check that out. Go ahead and download your resources so you can have the questions answered when you need them answered. All right. Now let's jump into the topic today, which is marriage isn't a walk in the park, but here are 5 tips to make it better. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. The very first one is to change the way that you view your spouse and your relationship. See, a lot of times we are focusing on the wrong thing. The wrong thing in this case is usually something negative, the negativity, or the things that he or she just does not do. That's the negative. We have to shift and change our perspectives and focus on the things that he or she is doing right in the relationship or in the marriage. Because when you do that, you have a tendency to see the good, to see the beauty, to see all of the great things and the reasons why you fell in love with your spouse or partner in the first place. So you want to keep that positivity going because life can be hard. Relationships can be hard. Specifically, marriage can be hard. We all know that. However, you can make it better by the things that you focus on. In this case, focus on the positive, the good things, the great things that you love about your spouse, that you love to hear them say, that you love to see them do, that you love to just be in his or her company, period. Remember those times, especially when you guys are having an argument or just had an argument. The good about your spouse is what's really going to come through. So you have to remember what they're doing right. So changing your view about your spouse and about your relationship is the very first thing. The second thing, in order to make your marriage better, is to not remain disillusioned about your spouse. Because here's the thing, a lot of us stay in the fantasy stage of the relationship, or we wish that we could stay there. The fantasy stage of the relationship is, i.e., generally called the honeymoon stage. And it is the fantasy stage because this is when you really cannot see who your spouse truly is. And it's not that the things that he or she does that will irritate you and annoy you and even frustrate you later on are not there. Those things have always been there. It's just you're recognizing them when the honeymoon stage is over. Sometimes you'll hear this referred to as the rose-colored glasses, right? When you can't see anything but the beauty in your spouse. That phase goes away. It does. Now, it lasts anywhere from 3 months to 3 years, and it's different in everybody's relationship. But at some point, that phase, that stage will go away. It's just a part of you growing together and growing in the relationship. So the honeymoon stage, again, is from anywhere from 3 months to 3 years before you start to see the real person that's in front of you, before you start to recognize their flaws, before you start to see, oh, he never does put down the toilet seat, or she is not as clean as I thought she was, or he doesn't shower as often as I thought, or she don't handle her money good. Like, that's when you really start to see who your wife, who your partner truly is after the honeymoon stage. So a lot of us stay disillusioned about our spouse. And then when the honeymoon stage is over, we're like, who is this woman? Who is this man? Like, was he lying to me this whole time? No. he or she was not lying to you. It's just you're growing in the relationship, and that's a part of it. So you have to understand that. That's also in the marriage. You're growing together. You are building your life together. You are becoming one together. And that is not an easy task to do. It's not. The third thing is to watch whom you allow into your marriage. Watch whom you share your partner's flaws with. This is including your parents, your friends, your coworkers, your siblings, anybody that is not your spouse. And especially people that have not gotten over the fact that they are divorced or that person left them. If they're still bitter, that is not the person you should be sharing your relationship, i.e. marriage woes with, because they are going to keep you there. And then they're going to talk about all of the horrible things and ways that it is to be in a marriage, and why being in a marriage is just horrible, period. It just sucks. They're going to tell you all the bad stuff. And before you know it, you guys are on the road of misery together. Do not just share your information with anybody. Share it with somebody that you can trust. A coach, a counselor, a therapist, pastor, a trusted elder, a trusted parent, just somebody who can actually not just take your side because they know you, not just take their side because they love you. This person should be able to give you some constructive criticism. This person should be able to point out the flaws that you are doing, the mistakes that you are doing, and you not get upset about it. You take in the information and really be able to receive it as help for what it is, because it's help. Yeah. You cannot just let anybody into your world. You cannot. You have to give your relationship, you have to give your marriage, and you also have to give your spouse a fighting chance. And the only way you can do that is sometimes you have to zip it. Sometimes you have to sit in your own pain and really figure out what your next move is, and not allow all of these people into your ear about what it is that they would do, what it is that he or she would take, what it is that he or she would not take. That's a different video, but I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole on that. But watch whom you allow into your marriage. Number 4, don't be so fast just to say hurtful things to your spouse, especially when now you are getting angry, when you have found a way to be pissed off at your spouse, and now you want to say all of these mean and hurtful things to him or to her, because you know it's going to cut deep. But that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that thing to be cut deep on him or her, right? But you're not realizing the effects of you doing that. The effects of you doing that is you are slowly breaking down the foundation in your marriage. You're slowly cutting off the legs from underneath you. You're slowly, that person is getting ready to head out the door, but you're not realizing this is what you're doing. That's why Big Sis is here to help you. That's exactly what you're doing. And it's usually a slow process. That is not something that happens overnight. It's just as it compiles and compiles and compiles and compiles and compiles and compiles, and all of a sudden, you two are no longer connected at the hip. It made it open up and went to here, and then y'all just kind of here, and all of a sudden, distance, 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 until y'all way out here, and then somebody got a side piece somewhere, and y'all doing whatever it is that you want to do, but not with one another, not with the person that you claim to love, not with the person that you claim that you're going to cherish till death do you part, sickness and health, good and bad. Remember those vows? Remember those vows? The 5th thing that I want you to pay attention to is to take the option of divorce off of the table. Now, I know that that is not something that is always agreed upon, but here's my thoughts on that. If you're not being abused in any type of way, and if the person is not breaking any one of your deal breakers, then you are obligated to figure out how to shift and change your marriage around. You who are watching this, yes, the task is yours. You are obligated to figure out a way to make things work. You are obligated to start remembering why you fell in love with this person in the first place. You are obligated to start remembering why you said I do in the first place. You are obligated to break generational curses. You are obligated to get the coaching, the counseling, the therapy, to figure out what it is that you're doing wrong. Because obviously you cannot do this by yourself. And so getting outside help is actually a beautiful thing, and a thing that can save your entire marriage. You have to make a choice. You have to decide that enough is enough and do this thing. Not for you. You're doing it for the family. You're doing it for your sanity. You're doing it because you didn't just get married just to say, I'm getting a divorce when things get hard. Because you haven't given up on life, and life gets hard all the time. Why give up on your marriage? You haven't given up on your children. Most of us would never, ever, ever give up on our children. Ever, ever, ever. No matter what. Even when you know that they're doing something bad. Insert whatever you think bad is. Even when you think that they're doing that thing that you consider to be bad, you will be there thick and thin for your children. Well, why don't we do the same thing? Why don't we give our spouses the same courtesy? We have to look at things differently. We have to shift our perspective. We have to say, literally, to death do you part. And get back in that mindset that divorce is not an option. I cannot give up, and I have to figure out how to make this thing work. And in the beginning, it is going to be work, and it is going to be you kind of making it work. I didn't say forcing it. And you also have to be patient with yourself and know that you didn't get into the situation overnight, so you're not going to get out of it overnight. It will be a process of bringing yourself out of this, but it can be done if you decide that this is what it's going to take, and I am going to do whatever it takes to change my marriage around, to not be a part of the statistic. Now, if you made it this far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and share this video with someone who you know needs to hear this message. And then, because you stayed around this far, I want to give you a bonus tip. Sis, bruh, you are the change that you seek. You are the change that you seek. No one else can change your marriage around but you. No one else can shift your perspective on your spouse but you. No one can shift your habits or behaviors, the things that you're doing that you know are destructive in your marriage. Nobody can change that but you. You have to decide that, you know what, today is the first day of my new marriage, and then start walking in that. Start doing the things that you know need to be done in order to change your marriage around. Again, I am Marshauno, your favorite life and relationship strategist, and I help women that are married or in long-term relationships to stop feeling disconnected and unloved and shift them to feeling heard, understood, and appreciated. Now, if this sounds like something that you need help with, send me a message at marshauno@marshaunolanio.com. And do not forget to go and download your free relationship resource library. Again, it's down in the description box below. It's at bit.ly/relationship library. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.